Hi guys. So today we're going to be working on a few equations from graphs. We're going to write them in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, where the m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So like we did in class, on these graphs, I'm going to use a highlighter just for the video. I know you may or may not have one at home, but I'm going to highlight the y-axis so that we can really easily see where the y-intercept is. So another thing I'm going to do is, for this video, I'm going to put the numbers on the graph because I think it just helps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'll put them on the x-axis too. Alright, so first let's find the y-intercept because that's like the newest thing that we did. So what you need to do is go to the y-axis and find where does this line cross through the y-axis. And on this graph, it actually crosses right here. And that point is positive 2 on the y-axis. So for our equation, b is going to be equal to 2. b equals 2. Because this is 2. And remember, I always tell you as an ordered pair, you always write it 0, comma, whatever the number is. So this one's 0, comma 2. Okay, for the slope, we're going to do it using 2 points. So we already have 1 point because we got the y-intercept, 0, 2. And then this graph gives us another point. So this point here is positive 3, positive 3. So I'm just going to write it over here. And then I'm going to use the stacking method to find the slope. So I'm going to subtract 2 minus 3, which is negative 1, and 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Now I need to make these into a fraction. Remember, the y, change in y goes on top, so negative 1 over negative 3. And when you have a negative on the top and the bottom, they've become positive. So for our equation, remember, it's y equals mx plus b. I'll put blank x plus blank. And we have 2 numbers that we need to put in here. So one of them is the slope. That's our m. And that's 1 over 3, so the whole fraction. And then for b, that's my y-intercept, that's 2. So the equation is y equals 1/3 x plus 2. All right, let's do number 12. Oh, this one they gave us the y-intercept. Okay. So for this one, the y-intercept is 2.6. I guess since it wasn't actually like on one of the lines, that they just, it's a decimal, so they gave it to us. So cool. That's 0, comma 2.6. We can still use that. But it does look like they want us to use these other 2 points, so we'll use those. So I'm going to go ahead and put the numbers on here. Okay. This point over here is negative 4, positive 4. And this point is positive 2, positive 2. So go ahead and stack them, and then subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. So make your fraction. And this one will be 2 over negative 6. That is not simplified. On your calculator, you would use the ABC button to check and see if it's simplified, but I'll just go ahead and tell you this one is not. So this actually simplifies to 1/3, negative 1/3. When you divide the top and the bottom of the fraction by 2, you get 1 over 3. So m equals negative 1/3. Okay, let's write our equation now. It's going to be y equals slope times x plus the y-intercept. Or y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, our slope is negative 1/3, so that goes here. And our y-intercept is 2.6, so that number goes there. And there's your equation. Let's do one more. Number 13. Okay, let's highlight the y-axis. Put our numbers, 0, okay, so let's find the y-intercept. So look at the y-axis and let's try to find where our line hits the y-axis. So here we go. It hits it right here, and this is actually in the middle of the graph, or what we call the origin. So our y-intercept here is actually 0, so b equals 0. The ordered pair for that is 0, 0. And then we need to find the slope. So we have one point, the y-intercept, 0, 0, and then we have this point here, which is positive 3, positive 1. 3 and 1. Now let's subtract. Okay, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Negative fraction, negative 1 over negative 3, positive and positive. Okay, so these are all 1/3. Okay, y equals blank x plus blank. Slope goes here, y-intercept goes here. So it's 1/3 x plus 0. Now, you wouldn't really see the plus 0 written, so I'm going to actually write the equation again down here. It was just y equals 1/3 x as the answer. You don't need to add the plus 0 because it's just 0, so just leave it off. Alright guys, hopefully you are starting to understand this a little bit better, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll do some more practice.